Excellent, and welcome to the TADHack Global 2024 winners announcements. So, first of all, thank you to everyone who took part in TADHack Global 2024, which was sponsored by STROLID, the creators of vCon, and TSG Global, the creators of TNID. We had people taking part from around the world, from Colombia, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, UK, Mexico, USA, and Tanzania. And I'm sure in that long list I missed some people. I apologize. We had close to 400 registrations, an amazing diversity of hacks that also used additional technologies like Skip, Africa's Talking, and IDMR, in addition to many, many other resources. But that's enough in hearing from me. What I'd like to do is to hand over to Thomas so he can announce his winners. Thomas, over to you.
Thank you, Alan. First of all, I want to thank all the teams who participated this time. I mean, this is a great thing for the vCon community to see so many of you um, do some really amazing things. And I'm gonna obviously we all can't win, but a lot of you all did a great job. So what I want to do is just go over some of the honorable mentions before we get to our winners. So the first two I want to mention, I thought really had great business cases. I thought really what they were showing and what they were pointing to with vCons are tremendous business opportunities. So to both InstaHost and Conseg, great job. I think you really have a handle on what's going to happen next on the business side. And I thought your hacks were really demonstrative, and I really can't thank you enough for those. Then uh, I also want to thank so I do a lot of hackathons, and I'm a big fan of them. I think they're great for learning, for meeting other people in the industry. I also think they're really good for having fun. So I want to mention two honorable mentions for the you're having fun, and I loved seeing it. The first was the Shrine at the Temple of Computing. That was really hilarious. Um, and I really loved the insight of all the integrations that you showed when you got to the phone. That was fantastic. They really hit it for me. I thought that was really interesting. And then Sebastian Schumann and I think, Sebastian, that was really great. I really enjoyed how you took your tools you already had in a very light integration where it was able to like put together vCons. I think it really speaks to something I don't talk enough about, but you really, illustrated, which was these are easy to do. This is not so hard to do. So I thought that was really great. And for both of you, as for all three of you, and I really enjoyed seeing you, and I enjoyed the joy. Okay, one more set of honorable mentions. Um, and just to say, when I first started talking to people about vCons, of course, here we did them first here at TADHack. Um, One of the things that really opened my eyes is when I got to meet Eric Berger, who was a really old, not old, but a very matured member of our community, who had his stint at as being the CTO of the FCC during the nuclear telecom nightmare of a winter where a lot of the vendors went out of business. Half of my staff at How Digital went to work for Eric. And he did a really, solid for me back in the day. And when I was talking to him about vCons, he said, the best thing about a standard isn't the standard, but it's the tools that they enable. And it's the tools that I think was really on display for two of my hacks here. One was the vCon analyzer, the other was vCon datasets. And for both of those hacks, I want to this is becoming the really important part of what vCons are doing and going towards, is that the ability to have a third party tool that can act on the data that we generate really is the most important part of this. And so for both of your hacks, you did a great job in displaying that for us. And if you don't mind, I'm going to be putting the notes to your hacks, all the ones I've mentioned so far, on conserver.io. And so thank you for doing that. Now, the actual winners. We had two here that I thought I really wanted to mention. And we're going to give even up to both of them because I think they both actually really displayed an amazing thing. So the first of the two winners is vSense. which I really believed. If you look at what they did, it's an online platform, and it uses actual insights from consumer feedback, and especially from social platforms, but it also can get the conversations. And I believed that they really grokked what we were trying to do with, finding and understanding uh, the customer conversation at a very granular level and what we can do because we can do that. And I thought his application really showed the power of that and the promise of that. So good job, Brian. And then the other winner, who'll share the award, is Steve Goodwin. And I gotta say, I really also felt that Steve really did a great job on being very hands-on and serious about the work he was doing, and really, pointing at the level of analysis and the seriousness by which you can take this now that you weren't able to before, and simply to display that I thought was really, really interesting. And he got Skit attached to the whole deal. Good for you. That was a very nice thing. If you're unfamiliar with Skit, it's our companion protocol to vCons. Skit allows us to take vCon information and put it on a distributed ledger that you can't erase. So thank you to everybody who participated. I can't thank you enough for your good work, and I just can't imagine that what's going to happen next year. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Thomas. Noah, over to you.
Well, thank you very much. And first and foremost, Alan, thank you for putting everything together. You are the nexus of it all, aren't you? So we appreciate you actually doing this, and a worldwide event is just insane. So that being said, we definitely had a lot to review in the two use cases that were brought to us, and one of which I'll go into each of them in order, actually. Matt Williams, thank you very much. You participated and gave us a spam reporting tool attached to SSI, which is self-sovereign identity, which is just one of the many uses of an identity profile attached to an immutable database in the background when you want to permission it to that said database. So similar to what Thomas was saying about putting it on a DLT, a distributed ledger technology. So when we look at what you did, Matt, with the spam reporter, very good use of identity. Glad you quickly picked up that we were already developing reporting mechanisms into your identity profile. It kind of led you down the road of where we're going with some of our own internal development. So you certainly picked up on that. Great use of understanding of, that there is nothing out there today that actually allows you to report, let alone the multiple channels that spam could be coming in on. So by having your manual interface there, it had a good and a potential hazard there. But we'll look at the good side and say that the good side was really, hey, you have a place now to report anything you want that's based on a phone number, right? That's fantastic. What happens next is what we would do inside the database attached to other pieces of data, whether shared in a community level, group level, family level, corporate level, or industry level. So really appreciate the use of how you showed a light use of identity attached to something as critical as reporting, but we don't get anything around the world at all to that nature. So really enjoyed that. And thank you for the very well put together presentation and video. It was very clear and concise. And you thanked all the right people, which is fantastic. Vincent Wong and his application went on to tackle more of a KYC and community-based use case that happens to be applicable in the country that he's in, that he's seen, where there's a problem in the real estate market between brokers and agents and tenants and all that kind of stuff. So Vincent, you picked up very quickly with the propriety ID. I like that, which allows you to start to use self-sovereign identity to be part of a real estate community, no matter which stakeholder you are, which really tapped into something that you're going to see in any kind of stakeholder community, which is what's your value to these buildings that want to lease you property? Because there was actually in SSI the exposure of reversing the cycle, or Web3, reversing the cycle of where that desire is. So instead of you desiring a home or an apartment or whatever that property is, now you're creating a community within TNID where both parties are trusted because they're both individual identities, and they're held to a higher accountability because everybody controls their own data. Now your stakeholder value is controlled by you too. Your decisions, what you do, with whom, and who talks about you in the positive or negative way. You tapped into both the commercial side of the social side of this environment, and you also tapped into the individual side, which connects. So you exposed the ability to have both a business social network and a personal social network merged into one to solve a commercial application of property management. So we're going to do a few things here. We didn't have many entries because we felt like we didn't explain things properly and give guidance as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to give a portion of the winnings to each of you, and we're going to invite you and others back in to have a little bit more of a session to win even more money, because we want to be a lot more specific into use cases that might start to open the doors and involve myself a little bit more, because plumbing sometimes is a little confusing to look at, and application of it can be even more so. So looking forward to that. Alan?
Excellent. So then the plan is so 500 each to Matt and to Vincent. Thank you for that. And then now, do you want to give some direction now, or do you want to set up a second session for some direction?
Second session. So
no problem. So we'll do that. Is tomorrow okay?
It should be, yes.
Okay, so we'll get that scheduled. And then, so that leaves of the 5K pot, 4K that will be available. So we'll plan, and I'll get this all written up, by close of play on Sunday, the 3rd of November, to have the hacks that address the use cases that Noah is going to describe tomorrow. So what that means is, if you've already won with vCon, you've got more money you can win. And if you got an honorable mention and you missed out, well, guess what? You can get a chance to win some of the 4K prize money. And of course, even if you didn't get any mention, it's still an opportunity to come in and hack on what is a very important emerging technology. So we did this slight change because vCon dominated. I mean, you can see, and it wasn't fair to poor old, TSG Global. So what I wanted to do is ensure they get access to the amazing talent in TADHack, so they get some great demonstrations built over the next couple of weeks. So that's the plan. A little bit of a change, but hey, we're flexible. We can make this work. So again, thank you to everyone for taking part in TADHack, and we're looking forward to seeing your hacks on TNID in a couple of weeks' time. Again, thank you so much, everyone.